You always take things too seriously, Hira said with a soft smile, brushing it off like it meant nothing. It's just harmless fun. Harmless. That's the word she chose. But there was nothing harmless about the way she looked at him. The evening was supposed to be simple. A relaxed gathering, quiet music, familiar faces. The kind of night where nothing unexpected happens. But I stood there, frozen in place, watching my wife lean into someone else's presence like I had already disappeared. I didn't know who he was. But he carried himself like someone who didn't need to ask permission. Confident. Calm. Comfortable in a space that wasn't his. And somehow, she made it feel like it was. Hira, I said quietly. She glanced at me for barely a second. Please don't make this awkward. That was it. No explanation. No apology. Just dismissal. Have you ever felt like you were standing right there, but no one actually saw you anymore? That's what it felt like. Not anger. Not even shock. Just a quiet realization that something had already started to break long before this moment. I stepped back. Not because I agreed, but because I understood something. You can't compete for attention that someone is willingly giving away. We left soon after. The drive home was silent. Not tense. Not explosive. Just empty. She scrolled through her phone, smiling at something I couldn't see. I focused on the road, letting the silence stretch without interruption. I didn't ask questions. Because deep down, I already had my answer. The next morning, everything looked normal again. She moved through the kitchen like nothing had changed. Last night was actually nice, she said casually. I looked at her for a moment. Was it? She didn't catch the meaning. Or maybe she chose not to. And that's when it became clear. Sometimes people don't suddenly change. They just stop hiding who they really are. After that night, I stopped reacting. Not because I didn't care, but because I realized reacting wouldn't change anything. Hira continued her routine like everything was fine. Same tone. Same habits. But something had shifted, and I could see it clearly now. I started noticing the details. The things people think no one pays attention to. The way she angled her phone away when texting. How her focus drifted when we talked. How she seemed more present everywhere else, except with me. Most people would confront it. Push for answers. Demand clarity. I didn't. Because sometimes silence reveals more than questions ever could. And what I saw wasn't confusion. It was choice. She wasn't unsure. She was drifting, intentionally. That realization didn't break me. It woke me up. So instead of trying to fix things, I stepped back. I gave space. And what happened next told me everything. She didn't notice. Not even once. That silence between us? It only grew. So I made a decision. Not out of anger, but out of awareness. I started focusing on myself again. Things I had ignored for too long. Time alone. Clear thinking. Distance from something that had quietly become exhausting. Then one evening, I did something unexpected. When I pulled into the driveway, the sound alone brought her outside. She looked at the car, confused. What is this? Something I wanted, I said calmly. Her expression changed instantly. You made a decision like this without telling me. I looked at her for a moment. I didn't think it mattered. That hit deeper than anything else. Because she knew. That wasn't about the car. It was about everything. About the distance. About decisions made without communication. About a relationship that had already started to fall apart. She didn't respond. And for the first time, neither did I. The distance between us didn't explode. It stretched quietly until it couldn't hold anymore. When my birthday came around, I didn't want anything special. No gathering. No attention. But Hira insisted. It'll help us, she said. I didn't argue. I just let it happen. The house filled with people. Laughter echoed through the rooms. Music created the illusion that everything was fine. But I stayed on the edges. Watching. Observing. And then I saw him. The same man. Standing inside my home. That wasn't coincidence. That was a decision. I looked at her. She saw him too. But instead of coming to me, she looked away. That told me everything I needed to know. Time passed slowly. Then suddenly, they were both gone. No explanation. No hesitation. I didn't panic. I followed the silence. A closed door. A quiet sound. And then, the truth. Clear. Undeniable. There was no confusion left. No doubt. Just reality. They froze when they saw me, waiting for a reaction. But I didn't give them one. Because in that moment, I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. The kind that removes every question you've been holding on to. I stepped back, turned around, and walked away. Because there was nothing left worth staying for. I didn't go back inside. I didn't explain. I just left. The night felt different. Lighter. Like something heavy had finally lifted. I drove without direction. Not trying to escape. Just trying to think without noise. And for the first time in a long time, everything felt clear. It wasn't just about betrayal. It was about realization. About seeing something for what it truly was. Not what I wanted it to be. When I finally stopped somewhere quiet, I sat there in silence. No distractions. No pressure. Just stillness. And strangely, it felt peaceful. Later, my phone filled with calls and messages. Questions. Concern. Panic. I didn't rush to answer. Because for once, I wasn't reacting. I was choosing. When I returned, everything had changed. No pretending left. No illusions. Just truth. She looked at me differently. Like she didn't recognize who I had become. Maybe she didn't. I handed her the envelope. No shouting. No anger. Just a decision. She tried to speak. But I stopped her. There's nothing left to fix, I said calmly. And there wasn't. Because some moments don't break you. They wake you up. And once you see things clearly, you can't go back. I walked away without looking back. Not angry. Not lost. Just free. Because sometimes, walking away is the strongest thing you can do.